my take on this though is that we need to be really specific about what we're protecting the ocean from, and if any ocean protection policy is put in place to protect the ocean that doesn't mention the fishing industry, we may as well just throw that in the bin. It's just paper. So
hello, my dear audience. Welcome back to Talk Solo. Today we have a very renowned documentary director and environmentalist, Mr. Ali Tabrizi. Ali is the director and the presenter of the Netflix documentary Seaspiracy. It's listed as one of the top 10 most watched movie on Netflix around the world, right after it released 2021. And this film unveiled very shocking truths that how much the fishing industry is a serious threat on our ocean. So let's find more details through this interview with Ali. Ali, nice to meet you.
it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I heard that it is your first time to visit Korea and come here to give a very astonishing and very shocking address here.
Yeah, this is my first time here, and I'm really excited because there's a growing awareness here in the Asia Pacific region, but I mean Korea as well, especially South Korea. There's a lot of awareness now raised about the ocean and wanting to do something about it. So hopefully I can get to meet some people and share some of these bits of information that I've been uncovering over the last few years. Well, Seaspiracy as a documentary is an international expose on an industry which is causing the most damage to the world's oceans. I would say it's probably the most destructive industry on Earth in terms of scale of destruction of sea floor, in terms of scale of destruction of wildlife. And we were following the journey from everything from plastic straws to carbon dioxide sequestration to slavery to whaling, and exposing a lot of the lies that have been propagated by so-called sustainable fishing industries, dolphin safe labels. It was a big expose, and my journey really started when I was in my early 20s. And I started to realize I really didn't know much about what was really happening beyond the horizon. Sure, plastic was washing up. There was news of whales washing up with plastic in their stomachs. And I was seeing more and more news reports that were focused about the ocean. But really, I didn't really know the full picture. And so I could tell that there was something there. I was curious about it. And I looked online. There was just no real film that was explaining it to me. So I basically went out there and tried to make the film that I wanted to see. And that's what led to Seaspiracy. That's right. I mean, we had Kourtney Kardashian, we had Hugh Jackman, we had Sir Paul McCartney of the Beatles, and an array of A-list celebrities coming out and showing their support, making videos on their social media accounts, promoting the film. It was huge. And what that did was it pulled together, it seemed like the online community to really get behind it. Here in South Korea, there was a trending hashtag, Watch Seaspiracy, that a Korean, a famous actress was promoting. And I think what this did was it helped unite people, and it was kind of during the last stages of the pandemic. People were at home watching the movie a lot, and I think as a result, the awareness that was raised from that was massive. So we've seen Google search trends skyrocket after the movie came out for terms like sustainability, ocean conservation, marine life, and we've also seen massive levels of investment in the private sector to companies that are producing solutions, whether that be plant-based tuna or other plant-based seafood products, plant-based omega-3, plant-based everything as real solutions. And that's come about big time after the release of the movie. And we've also seen government actions towards making more marine protected areas. It's not quite there yet, but we're getting there. So I'm hopeful that by 2030, we should be able to see some big changes. Yeah, governments have a massive role to play when it comes to the protection of the ocean and the responsible use of taxpayer money. Currently, the world's governments are giving something like $35 billion to keep afloat an industry which is destroying the planet. It makes no sense. Imagine what we could do if we repurposed all of that billions of dollars in subsidies and instead directed it to protecting the ocean and incentivizing companies to provide, plant-based proteins that we can eat instead of taking it from the sea. And one of those initiatives is this 30 by 30 program to get governments to protect the ocean, 30% of the ocean by 2030. My take on this, though, is that we need to be really specific about what we're protecting the ocean from. And if any ocean protection policy is put in place to protect the ocean that doesn't mention the fishing industry, we may as well just throw that in the bin. It's just paper. So what we really need to be is really specific that the ocean needs protection specifically from the fishing industry. Unfortunately, here in South Korea, less than 1%, I'm talking maybe 0.5% or less of the oceans here are protected from the fishing industry. And that's what I'd like to see improved upon over the coming years. So there's a number of projects that I'm currently involved in. One of them is a documentary that isn't involved with the oceans, but it's a very similar story in the sense that it goes against big, powerful interests and the higher seats of power. And so this one actually follows a whistleblower from a very well-known international organization. And what's really going on inside these organizations. In Seaspiracy, we uncovered the corruption in organizations like the Dolphin Safe Tuna Label and big ocean NGOs. So that's what I'm currently working on. It's quite a risky movie. But in another year or two, I'd like to see whether there's some possibilities of making a Seaspiracy Part 2. Yeah. I'd like to see that happen. There's so much to be told on this ocean story that didn't get covered in Seaspiracy, and I'd like to do a Part 2 one day. So I think I'd like to focus a lot of that work here in Asia, where we've seen a massive amount of decline in wildlife populations and also human exploitation in the fishing industry in the South China Sea, Indonesia, Thailand. There's a big story happening around here, so that's what I'd like to focus on in the coming years.
Okay, thank you for your valuable time. I hope to see you again and also watch your next film very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.